bila shaka yote bado hajitambui, ingawaji anaweza kuona kiongozi huyu, namwambia huyu kama anatambua, lakini unaweza kuona a traumatized individual, a Kenyan citizen who believes that he has protection under the law, under the constitution, and who has suffered extrajudicial suffering and torture. We want to make it clear to this administration and to Mr. William Ruto himself that he is a person bearing the highest responsibility for these excesses by a specialized squad. We call it specialized because I'm quite sure these are not men under the normal police organization. Or indeed, if they are, the next person responsible will be the Inspector General himself. So we have been documenting every case. Our brother here, former Attorney General, former Speaker J.B. Muturi, the chair of the People's Restorative Justice Commission. We will be taking all this data along with these commissioners. But you have an administration here which is saying, on the one hand, that there will be no more abductions. And the abduction squads continue unabated. They are more threatening. But we must make it clear to Mr. Ruto that these crimes will not go unpunished. The crime of torture under the Rome Statute is actually a crime against humanity. You can see Davis Lichuma, Davis Lichuma. You can see a person clearly tortured. We met earlier at our place, other friends who were with us, some journalists, when we gave the press briefing outside the Serena Hotel before we started the march to Parliament buildings, that these people pounced on innocent Kenyans and put them in the infamous Subarus. Now they have also added some Pajeros, because the plan was mtu anachukuliwa anawekwa ndani ya Pajero, na kama pengine ameuawa, walikuwa wamejiandaa kabisa, wakiua watu anaweka kwa hiyo mapajero na kwenda kuweka we are sure, we have information, walikuwa na mipangilio Ololua Forest na kwingine wawekwe huko, watokomee huko, wasaulike. Wakenya hawezi kusahau mambo haya, na sisi tunatoa hakikisho kwamba kijana huyo na wenzake hawezi tu kuachiliwa. Bwana Ruto anaamini watu wakilipwa ridhaa milioni 3, ati hiyo sasa ni pesa ambayo inatosha maumivu ya hata kiakili. Kwa hivyo ni jambo la kuhuzunisha sana, na mambo haya lazima yaendelee. Sisi tumetoa hakikisho kwamba pale watoto waliuawa outside Parliament. In fact, we have even done some scouting outside the Kenyatta Mausoleum. Hapo we will put a monument in the memory of our Gen Zs, wale ambao waliuawa, and how they breached Parliament, how they changed this country. No amount of ill will, mismanagement, or indeed monetary considerations will wipe away the reality that this country changed forever from the 24th of June, or say 25th of June, 24th June, of 2 years ago. Kwa hivyo tutasimama pamoja kama Wakenya wazalendo, tuhakikishe kwamba jambo la kizalendo linafanyika juu ya vijana hawa Gen Z. My colleagues can also say something.
But I just want to reiterate what His Excellency Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka has said, that torture is a crime within the Rome Statute. And we are documenting every bit of it. And it does not matter how long it takes. Those responsible or those who bear the greatest responsibility, including command responsibility, will have to be held accountable for those crimes. We all know too well that it's just the other day when William Ruto, in the presence of visiting head of state, the president of Finland, he stood unashamedly at State House when asked by a lady journalist what happened to those that had been abducted or killed. And he said that they had been returned to their parents. Maybe William Ruto might have said it in jest, but we took note. Because if he knew that they were taken back to their parents, then he knows who had abducted them. So when we are talking about people being held accountable, William Ruto should know that every statement that he makes, all these steps that he takes, including the steps he takes to say that Kenyans were thanking Kenyans that they never turned up for the demonstrations. He said that just yesterday. Yet, callously enough, doesn't have the temerity to even acknowledge that Kenyans were abducted in full view of cameras, full view of the entire public, put in police vehicles, taken to known police stations, and subsequently removed and put into these unmarked Subaru vehicles. We are documenting all that. And William Ruto, it is very shameful that as head of state, you can indeed spend so many hours purporting to be opening bridges, and you cannot even have the courtesy to even send a message of sympathy or empathy to those that have been affected by the conduct of your security forces. We will hold you accountable. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think just to reiterate what my colleagues have said, Kenya, and particularly Nairobi, has had a very dubious record of being the epicenter of abductions, not just nationally, but regionally. It is here that Kizza Besigye was abducted. We had a Tanzanian national abducted, and a clear statement from this government to other nations that abductions will be a thing of the past. They have resorted to what they do best, using their Subarus, using men in masks, abducting and torturing fellow Kenyans so as to intimidate them, not to enjoy their civil liberties, freedom of expression, and the right to protest and to picket. These are all constitutional rights that are not granted by the generosity of this state, but are guaranteed by the Constitution. We have, with my colleagues, spoken to some of the victims today. This morning we met about 5 of them who are with us during the march, who were actually abducted by Subarus and picked from our procession, and who have told us what they went through. And they were taken around in these Subarus. They were taken to the police headquarters. And what they went through is really an intimidation for them never again to participate in demonstrations. So we want to tell this government, you are not going to limit those rights that are guaranteed by the Constitution, but also the police officers who are being used in these abductions. We are saying it's not enough for the victims to be compensated. We are saying each officer must be held to account. If you are used to torture, if you are used to kill, to misuse firearms, to take life. As the alternative government, we want to assure the families affected and all victims of abductions, enforced disappearances, and extrajudicial killings that we continue to stand with them and to act to ensure that justice is done to them. Asanteni sana. Thank you.
Have we not seen in the Standard Frontline, right? The photo of the officers who actually arrested, or is it abducted Davis Lichuma. They're there. So we also want to tell IPOA, what other evidence do you need? Kenyans want to see that person, those officers have been arrested publicly and taken before courts of justice. Let's see whether they can act for once.
Yes.
I have a question. Yes. Away from that, there's this young man who has been taken to court, Mr. Speaker's son, and they are able to bring him in court, but the person who triggered that bullet that killed many young protesters during the very day, no officer has been in court. What does that portray in your honest advice?
The Attorney General is there. A perversion of justice.
Yes, terrible perversion of justice, double standards, clear, evident. They have taken him to court merely because they saw him the other day. They have not taken, not even an inch to investigate those officers who triggered the first bullet, or the bullets that killed several of the agencies. Yeah, double standards.
And I think, first of all, we already have the IPOA official record of the 62 who were killed by the police. That was on 25th of June, 2024. IPOA itself has given us a record of those who were killed last year because we matched with the families. 27 were killed on the 25th that day. Sabasaba, we had 38 others killed. So IPOA has these records. The officers are known. What is lacking is the will to hold these officers accountable. And that is why the killings will go on. I believe as long as William Ruto is president and his regime is protecting these officers, abductions will still go on, extrajudicial killings and enforced disappearance will still go on. But we are saying that the statute of limitation does not apply to crimes. And as the incoming government, we will follow up to ensure that all these officers are held accountable. And justice is done to all the families, right from 2023, the 75, to 2024, the 62, to 2025, the 66 who are killed by the same police. Thank you.
Yeah, Wakili.
Just to say, in respect, thank you. In respect to that question, what we are witnessing is akin to what happened in 1946 in the Nuremberg Tribunal, or the Tokyo Tribunal, where the victors set up a tribunal to try the valiants. So you basically can see that the government, being the perpetrator, they are charging the weak and prosecuting the weak who are out in pursuit of their constitutional right. And that is why I am happy when I hear my principals indicate that this will never happen again, that the rule of law will be restored and constitutional regime will be restored. Equally, these actions withers down the so-called purported compensation. You cannot compensate and then you keep on perpetually perpetrating and perpetuating the same offense. Surprisingly, government believes that they can commit crimes, perpetuate inhuman, degrading, and subject people to servitude, and compensate. We need those individuals brought to book. It is not possible the government can continue using our taxpayers to compensate individuals whom they have caused all these atrocities. If there were individuals who had been charged, it would have been possible for us to surcharge individuals to compensate. But why torture and then go to read our scoffers and compensate? This injustice.
Thanks.